Chris, can you share with us what the song I Just Stared is all about?
Yeah, actually, this is, it's hard to have favorites of your own personal music, but this one definitely has some special meaning to it. And it's a bit of a story background. Uh, there was a young fellow amongst our friends, the son of our friends, and it was a single mom. And he kind of got underneath the wing of all the guys. And, some of us would take him to, his hockey game. We would all go and watch his hockey game. He would come over to our place and hang out for the weekend and do all kinds of fun stuff. We'd go off to Niagara Falls and do all kinds of different things. And just, just being supportive of this individual and, the mother. And of course we loved him, right? So he was part of the family. All of our friends were, actually family. So that he definitely was a big part of the family, especially being the firstborn amongst the group. I had moved off. That was all in the St. Catharines, Niagara area, and I had moved off to Hamilton for work and all of that. And I came back at one point, and I stopped in at Tim Hortons. Went up to the counter, ordered up myself coffee, paid the individual, sat down, and was enjoying my coffee. I was there by myself. And then all of a sudden, I see her come in, the mother come in with her new husband. And so I went over and greeted them and said, "Hey, what by chance are we running into each other at this Tim Hortons here?" And they said, "Well, we're here to pick up our son, and he's working here." And I looked over, and only then did I realize that it was him that served me, and I didn't even recognize him. And of course, I hadn't seen him in a year or two, and you know how kids grow up and change and all that kind of stuff, but it really floored me. It's not like it was an individual that I only spent a small amount of time with. Like, we spent significant time together. I didn't recognize him at all, and that absolutely floored me. And after that, I hopped in my car, raced home, and I think I stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning writing a song called I Just Stared. And it's all about the kids within the entire group, of them growing up, and me kind of watching from a distance and seeing them develop and sending a clear message to them how much that they mean and meant through my life.
So in the song you sing, I was sure you would never be alone. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so it starts off with when I saw you finally home, I was sure that you'd never be alone because I knew that we were there. And that's a clear statement that we're here to take care of you, that we'll always be there for you, and that we were watching out for you. And I knew that we would do that, even though you were the first and we hadn't had that experience before. We all knew that we were there.
And another one here, you sing as you faded from the window.
So the window is kind of metaphorical, and where you're looking through a pane of glass and you get to see everything, but you can't really touch it. And not in the same way of reaching out and being a true participant, not a participant, but having a grasp on it. And it always felt like I was watching these kids from a window because I didn't have any kids myself. And watching all these things occur, my friends getting married, having kids, and all of this happening, it just kind of felt like I was looking from a window. And if you think of it, I guess what inspired that metaphor was when you go to a hospital and you're looking at a baby, you're in the hallway looking through a window. And I think that that's probably where that came from. But I just thought it was a great metaphor. And because they faded away, in the sense where they started getting older and doing their own thing, and you didn't get to see them as often. You would see them, you always get big hugs and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't happen as often. So they kind of faded from the window. And especially for this individual that inspired the song, how much he had faded to the point where I didn't even recognize him.
I have two more questions for you. The first is, you sing, "Seems I Didn't Know You."
So that's part of the verse. And the next time I'd see you, seemed I didn't even know you. And that is a direct reference to the fact that I went to this Tim Hortons and didn't recognize him at all. But also it represents watching the kids grow up. And every time you'd see them, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, they were so different. And they had grown up and changed, and they're developing, and you see new characteristics. And it almost seems like you don't know this person, and you're getting to know them again. And it just kind of tugs on your heartstring a little bit, because you want to spend that time. You want to see them growing up every step of the way, and how much has changed, and you feel like you almost missed something. And that's all part of being behind the window.
And finally, you sing, "I could even hear you flip out."
Yeah, so in prior verses, it refers to that they tried to reach out and even try to speak out, and I couldn't hear the words. Meaning this was such a new thing. Like, I'm holding this a baby for the first time, and I'm trying to understand it, and I'm just looking at this with awe. And then later on, when they get older, it switches over to that what they would actually be speaking and would express themselves. Sometimes they'd be kind of flipping out, and they tell you like all kinds of drama going on in their life, and all kinds of different things. They tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, every aspect. But no matter what they were saying, I was intrigued. And I just watched them, and just being observant of them and their growth and whatnot. And that's what that refers to.
Chris, thanks very much for sharing the song "I Just Stared." This is going to be one of the songs on the upcoming album, This Is Love, Volume 1.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mark.
On your very first day, I found it hard of what to say. Why look through the window with your hands so small? I knew that you would grow tall, so why just stare?